morning, everybody. All of you that are on the phone. I've got, I think we saw 5 or 6 folks on the phone. There are 3 members of our team, Nick Wagner, Lisa Fitzinger, and Patty Olenek, all part of the team to help give this presentation today. You'll see, as this slide suggests, myself and Patty, we're going to be giving the presentation, but we have recruited a couple of other folks to make sure we have the depth of knowledge on the call if you guys have questions. And so appreciate the opportunity to share this presentation with you today. Let's start, see if I can move the slide forward. Okay, so I'd like to start with a few introductions of our team. I'll introduce a couple of folks, and then I'm going to ask Nick Wagner to introduce himself. So first we have Lisa Fitzinger. She'll be giving the bulk of the presentation today. Lisa is been with Black Hills Energy for 15 years. She manages energy efficiency programs in Colorado for both our gas and our electric utilities. She has been in that role since 2020. And she supports Patty Olenek, who's here in Pueblo. She's really the boots on the ground, and she's the program coordinator for our energy efficiency programs here in Colorado Electric. So the territory that we serve here in this community and throughout the state. And then I'm going to pause for just a second. Nick Wagner's on. Nick, I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Great, thanks, John. And yeah, so I'm Nick Wagner, Vice President of Regulatory Affairs and Policy for Black Hills here in the Denver office in Colorado. Been with the company for about a year, a little over a year. Prior to that, I actually served on the Iowa Utilities Board, which is the commission, the Energy Commission in the state of Iowa. So did that for about 7.5 years. I was in the Iowa legislature for a few years, and then my background is engineering. So really excited. Part of my role at Black Hills is to manage the energy team and the demand side management programs. And so really excited to be here with you today, and really appreciate the opportunity for us to present this for you. I think it gives you some good options for the city. You know, we are very interested in working with the city to help meet your needs. And so if there are any questions throughout this presentation or even afterwards, please do not hesitate to reach out and contact us. And John can get you all of my contact information as well. If you want to reach out directly to me, please feel free to do so. But you know, really appreciate the opportunity to be here today, and hopefully you all find this information very helpful for you as you work through your task as the utility commission there in Pueblo, and appreciate the work that you do as well. And again, we're really looking forward to working with you to help solve your needs. And I do apologize if we go past an hour. I do have to drop off. I've got some other commitments. So if you see me drop off, it wasn't anything that John, Patty, or Lisa said. Just need to go take care of some other stuff. So again, thank you very much for having us, and look forward to the conversation.
Thank you, Nick. So just a quick recap of the agenda that we're going to go through today. We've already done welcome and introductions. A safety share is something that we do as a company. We're really focused on safety as a company. We want to make sure that everybody goes home safe every single day to their family. And so we start every meeting where there's 1 or 2 or more employees with a safety share. So I'll cover that. And then we're going to dive into our Black Hills Energy Efficiency Program and our demand side management program, and you'll learn all about that today. I do want to do just a bit of a level set for this group, because I know that there were really 3 questions that were posed at Black Hills Energy that you wanted to hear from Black Hills Energy on. One was energy efficiency. The second was the renewable energy standard. And the third was the clean energy plan that we have coming forward. And those last 2 are kind of, they're combined, and that's being worked on right now. And so it's a little premature to address those today. And so I'll just ask the committee to consider letting us come back maybe in December or January to discuss those topics with you. They'll be more complete at that time. And Nick, I don't know if there's anything you'd like to say in addition to that.
No, I think that's a good setup, John. And really, we're working through that now, as you can imagine. that is a large task and takes quite a bit of work, but definitely want to get your feedback and input on that. So when we have something that's a little bit more to present, we would love the opportunity to come back and talk with you guys and again get your thoughts and input on that as we move forward with that at a later date. So again, appreciate that opportunity.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and move on. The safety share is really just a general safety share, but I'm going to walk through it like I would with our team. First of all, safety is an attitude. It's an attitude towards avoiding injuries and accidents, unnecessary incidents and injuries. And so the first thing that we suggest is that you focus, right? And whether it's focusing on something like walking down the street, not texting and walking, not texting and driving, things as simple as, when you're cooking at home, I know we all have a tendency to multitask, but that's a time when things can boil over, fires can start, those sorts of things. And so the first tip is please, when you're in the middle of something, focus on the task at hand. It really helps you to prevent injuries that might occur. The second, taking time to do the job right, because you know that saving a few minutes with a shortcut is, not without a risk of injury. One of the things I point out all the time in our household, my kids have a tendency to want to pull out a chair to step up on it to get something out of the upper shelves in our kitchen. And so we have, now a step stool, just a 2-step step stool that is stashed kind of next to the refrigerator, because it's just not a safe thing to do. It seems safe, it seems stable, but as we all know, that's not what chairs are there for. And so I've really tried to reinforce, and you can imagine how hard that is with 2 teenage kids, but I've really tried to reinforce with them to use that step ladder, and then to maintain 3 points of contact. In other words, keep your hand on the handrail and then 2 feet on stairs. Discipline, being disciplined in what you do, and encouraging others not to take shortcuts. Again, I have a teenage son who mows the lawn. That's part of his tasks at home. He doesn't like to wear eye protection, but I insist on it. So he has 2 pairs of clear glass for eye protection for when he's trimming. He has had things come into his eye in the past, foreign objects in the past. And so I think he embraces it more now, but he had those glasses before that injury. So, it's taking the extra minute to walk back to the garage and get the glasses when he forgets to do it. And not just him. I mean, we all do things like that. So just trying to remember that discipline. And then just remembering that there's no way to avoid all risks. So a good safety attitude means to identify and avoid the risks that you can. Okay, with that, I'm going to turn this over to Lisa. And Lisa, go ahead.
All right, thank you, John. I appreciate the opportunity to talk with you all this morning and share a little bit about our thoughts on energy efficiency and how we can help not only the people of Pueblo, but also the surrounding area. First of all, energy efficiency in Colorado is mandated by the Public Service Commission.
Hey, Lisa.
It's something that, yes, can you not hear me?
A little bit, please.
I'm sorry, can I speak up? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Sure.
A little bit. I'm hearing you.
The Public Service Commission in Colorado mandates that all of the publicly owned utilities have energy efficiency programs that are offered to their customers. They are also paid for by our customers. So it's something that we want to encourage all of our customers to participate in. It's a line item on your bill. So you see that charge every month, and it's something we would like to see you.
Lisa, you just cut out. Lisa, if you can hear me, we cannot hear you at the moment. Nick, would you just see if it's our system or yours or hers? Just would you might say something?
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm thinking that might be specific to Lisa.
Yeah, she said, I sent her a message. She is attempting to reconnect. So
Okay.
The joys that we've all learned to live with over the past year and a half.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, right. So while she's reconnecting, maybe I can just talk a little bit about this slide. You know, you see the numbers here. We have, this represents Colorado. We have 99,000 customers in the state of Colorado for electric utility. That covers 24 communities. And to Lisa's point about this being a line item on the bill, this program is not specific to Pueblo, even though we're having that conversation here today. This is specific to the state of Colorado and all of the customers that we serve. And so we really do want to maximize, you know, this program. There's a tremendous amount of benefit that can be had by our customers, and the best thing we can do is deploy all of the resources available to us and get that, you know, get those savings back into customers' pockets. Okay. And in case you're wondering why I don't go forward from here, that's the depth of my knowledge. So
Every Black Hill customer in Colorado is treated the same, is that correct?
correct. Yes.
John, I didn't hear the question. What was the question?
Yeah, I'm sorry. The question was, all Black Hills Energy customers in Colorado are treated the same.
Yes. Yeah, they all have access to the same programs. And as we get into the future slides, you'll see there's a number of different programs that we operate throughout the state, both on our electric and our gas side. We're also required to have the energy efficiency on the gas side as well. And so, yeah, they all have access to the same programs with respect to class, if you're residential, commercial, or industrial. So again, and those programs are required by the state. They are reviewed by the Utilities Commission on a regular basis. And so we have to file those and go through the process of developing new plans. And we're constantly evaluating what programs are working well with respect to popularity, like them, are they actually leading to savings? So we continually evaluate those programs as we go, and there are provisions for which, if we find that a program is no longer working, is no longer providing the efficiency or the reductions that it should, we can remove it. Or if we find programs, we're constantly adding programs as well. So, you know, again, that's kind of, you know, why we're happy to talk with you today, because if there are things that you guys see, we can add programs within between those filings between our programs. So you know, really and we're required to be cost effective from a state law perspective. So we're constantly evaluating, making sure that we're staying on track. And yeah, so as we look at energy efficiency, you know, some people might say, well, why? It seems kind of odd for an energy provider to try to encourage customers to use less. Again, as Lisa said, it's required by state law, but we also look at it from the standpoint of, we want to provide our customers with the ability to have some control over their costs and help with their bills as well. And so goals of energy efficiency are to reduce the amount of energy that we're using, again, provide customer savings, and all of that will help us provide long-term sustainability. If we can, you know, manage our energy use across our footprint such that we don't have to add new generation or put in new transmission or some of those things, that can be very effective to, again, helping customer bills and just making us a sustainable program and company moving into the future. On the demand side, that's a little bit different. So energy efficiency is really just kind of how do I reduce my usage, do more with less. So if you think about light bulbs, if you think about adjusting thermostats, those types of things, we're using less energy but getting the same out of it. And on the demand side, that's a little bit different. So that's where we're looking at how do we sort of on our peak days reduce the amount used completely, not necessarily use it more efficiently. So if you think of like a light bulb moving from an incandescent to an LED, we're putting out the same amount of light, or in some cases even more light, but we're using less energy to do it. So that's being more efficient with our energy. And on the demand side, it's really more about just avoiding the use altogether. And so that can be done within programs that say reduce your load at a certain time of day, or simply just figure out how to do what you're doing differently so that you're not using the same amount of energy at the same time. And so in both cases, we have to establish goals and budgets for these programs.
Thanks, Nick. Let's just do a quick check. Lisa, can you? Okay. I see her unmuted, but I don't hear you. Yeah, Lisa, you may consider logging off and seeing if you can log back in.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, we've got a number of different programs that are available to all of our customers, both residential, commercial, industrial, and then income qualified and school education. We do have pretty significant programs where we go into schools and provide kits and then also an instructed learning for teachers, so they can go through an instructed learning and teach kids about energy efficiency, demand side. The kit includes light bulbs, water faucets, aerators, and other things that they can then take home, and there's instructions on how to install those in the home. So that's one of the ways that we're reaching homes in a pretty easy and quick way to get some of those energy efficient items into homes. But again, we've got programs for residential, commercial, and industrial. And once Lisa's back in, she can go into the specifics of each of those that are available. But in general, looking at residential, there are lighting. We've got rebates for furnaces and other equipment. Same thing with the commercial industrial. With commercial and industrial, we can get a little bit more tailored and can go in and do energy audits. And also on the residential side, we've got an online thing where you can go do an online energy audit to learn about your house. And so, many different programs, as I mentioned, that we operate in the state of Colorado and around all of our territory. Lisa, looks like, are you back?
I think so. Can you hear me?
We can.
All right. I am so sorry. I have no idea what's going on, but we've got it now. If you can hear me, and I'm very sorry that you had to wait a while, but at any rate, I think, Nick, where you were going with this, and I'm sorry I didn't pick up soon enough on that, but we do offer programs for all types of our customers. We have offerings that meet our customers where they are. For residential customers, we are able to provide energy efficiency measures that work in their homes. For our commercial and industrial customers, we are able to provide to them measures that would be applicable in their businesses, whether it be. Am I coming across as very rapid? Or is it okay?
You've been okay for the most part. I think if you may be moving away from your microphone occasionally.
Well, mine was sounding funny. I'm getting some feedback, so I just wanted to be sure that you all were okay.
We're not hearing feedback on this side.
Okay, excellent. Then we also offer programs to our income qualified customers, as well as providing programs that can be used in both elementary and secondary education, just to help our students learn about how important energy efficiency is in the state of Colorado and especially in our service territory. For our residential customers, we are able to offer, as it shows on here, the appliance recycling. For us, that includes old refrigerators. We don't want to see you with that refrigerator stuck out in your garage holding soda or whatever else you would like to have in it. We will also recycle freezers for you, as well as window air conditioners. The on-site energy efficiency evaluations that we are able to provide, we have trade allies who will come into your home and provide weatherization assistance in terms of sealing air leaks and just looking for things that you might be able to do to help you reduce your energy costs. We also have a virtual option, and I think, Nick, I heard you touching on that a little bit. But when COVID became an issue during 2020, we put into place some virtual audits. You're able to connect with one of our trade allies through your phone, and they can guide you through your home, and they can look at different parts of your home to help you know what you might be able to do to better prepare your home for this upcoming winter, or to keep you from being as hot during the summertime. We also have energy efficiency rebates for high efficiency cooling. We provide rebates for heat pumps, for air conditioners. We also have a program that helps with the cost of evaporative cooling, which I know is quite popular in the Pueblo area. The home energy comparison reports are offered to a select number of our customers in our service territory. It helps compare your usage in your home to that of customers with basically the same usage pattern around you. We have had this program in place for probably 6 years now, and we will be phasing it out with our next plan that we will be implementing in 2022. The new homes program, it's kind of cliche, but the best way to save a kilowatt hour is to never have to use it. And so what we're trying to do here is be sure that builders install energy efficient measures at the very beginning of the process in a home build. If they put in an energy efficient water heater, if they put in a heat pump water heater, if they put in a heat pump in their home, in their new homes, it helps to reduce the energy burden that will be on the customer as well as on our system. John, you can go ahead. Lots of technical difficulties. Just to talk a little bit about our commercial and industrial offerings, we have the same kind of a new construction program for these customers. In this instance, what we are doing is we provide design help When it's in the architectural design phase, we can help. Sometimes that's as simple as which way does the building face. We help them with the kind of equipment that they can install to become more energy efficient. And we're also able to provide rebates to those customers on that equipment that they're installing. Our custom program is basically if you own or if you run an industrial plant or a large commercial facility, we can come in, and if we can find a way to help you save energy, we will work to find through this program a way to rebate what you're doing. And it's based upon how many kilowatt hours it saves during the first year. The prescriptive program that's listed here is similar to the program that we have for our residential customers. It includes food service equipment, just the standard rates on an air conditioner for a small business, things like that. The lighting program, there's not as much incandescent lighting around as there used to be, or even fluorescent. But this is an opportunity for our customers to upgrade their lighting to the newest technology that's available. The small business direct install lighting program. Can you fix that, John? Do you see a note? Small business direct install lighting program. We have a trade ally that will come into the actual building facility and do some installation of lighting. They can also help provide with some weatherization on those businesses. The compressed air audit program is kind of a unique offering that we have. If any of you have ever had the opportunity to walk into an area where there is a compressed air system and there's not any machinery running and it's kind of quiet and you hear that constant hiss of the sound of air rushing, then you need to have the owner of that business contact Patty and see if we can get it set up for a compressed air audit. It is very expensive to run a compressed air audit that has leaks, because all you're doing is spending money and the power to actually compress that air, and then it's leaking out into the atmosphere, or into the building, I should say. So it's an excellent opportunity to do some repair work on your compressed air system. The large industrial audits program that we have is an excellent opportunity for our customers to request that we come in. We have a team that we work with as a third-party contractor, and they can walk around and help our customers find opportunities to save energy. That works in conjunction with both the compressed air audit program and the custom program, where we can say, okay, we can use this program and the funds and the incentives that are available to help our industrial customers save money as well. You can go ahead, John.
Okay, let me just pause there for just a second. I mean, we've
Sure.
a lot of information in all of you. Do we have questions at this moment in time? Yeah, it's okay. I can repeat that question. So the question is, do we have detail behind all of these? And the answer, Ken, is yes, we do. I do have some takeaways, some folders for you here today. But in addition to that, we will have the last slide. We'll have the BHE Saves Money web link up for you to use and for others to copy, that they can go and see the applications themselves on those prescriptive programs.
You bet. And I believe Patty's contact information is at the end as well. And she is a wealth of knowledge.
Another question is, do you have any behind the meter renewable programs?
We do not at this time. That is not in energy efficiency. We are working with our regulatory department. They are working on some programs that will be similar. It will be behind the meter, but it is not something that is included in energy efficiency at this time. I'm sorry, do you have another question, John?
Yeah, there's another question. Let me take it and I'll rephrase it for you.
So the question is, because we all have smart meters, is there a way to display customer usage on the bill so that they can understand their energy usage? Is that correct?
Nick, you may be able to help with that question. I think that those kinds of things are down the road a little bit for us in terms of being able to provide that. That's not an area that I'm an expert in. So we would be happy to have John help us out with some contact information, and we can go from there to help.
Yeah, let me expand on that just a little bit, David. That some of that data is available on our website today. So if you go in and log in to your account, you can see that 15-minute incremental data. I'll be honest, I've played with it a little bit. I don't love it, but it's there. I do know that there's also going to be some changes to your bill and the way it's presented. So you will see. I don't think it's not 15-minute intervals, but you will see energy usage for the past year, that sort of thing. I don't know that that's addressing your question directly. So what I would suggest is we can start with what's available on the website, and then we'll go from there.
Any other questions?
Yeah, Lisa, there's one that came into the chat, and it's asking if we still have a cannabis-specific energy program or fund allocation.
We do have a specific cannabis program. It's been very successful. Everyone who has participated in it has been very happy with what we were able to provide to them. As we go into our next plan period, which I'll talk about a little bit later, we will be adding in other forms of indoor agriculture into our cannabis specific program. But we do still have this program, and correct me if I'm wrong, Patty, but we have funding still available for rebates in that program. Anything else, John?
Yes. Yeah, great question, David. So the question is whether or not there is a time of use available to customers so that they can manage their own demand profile. I think we'll kick that one to Nick.
Yeah, so we do not currently have a time of use, but hold tight. Our transportation electrification plan that we're expecting approval of pretty much any day now does have a time of use rates. And so very shortly, we are hoping to get that tariff submitted to the PUC and approved so that we can begin providing that to our customers. And we do see that as a huge opportunity for our customers to learn more about their energy usage, as well as take actions to reduce costs and reduce their usage.
Can you just share a little bit more about that, Nick? Like, is that an opt-in type of rate if it's approved, and how long do they have to stay in? Like, if they're seeing they can't manage their usage, do you have any more detail you can share?
So it is an opt-in. I do not recall if we put a time limit on it. I believe if we do, I think it's a year, but I'd have to go back and double check on that. So, but I know we definitely, it's definitely an opt-in.
So I think that the short answer is, if that electric vehicle, the transportation electrification plan is approved, that time of use plan will be available to customers in the near future.
That is correct. Yep. And then along with the electrification plan, that includes rebates for customers who want to put in vehicle chargers. We've also got some community programs in there. So we're going to be working very closely with Pueblo on potentially doing electric transit or something of that nature. And so, again, it's a piece that we're really excited about, and we think there's some huge opportunity for our citizens down there in Pueblo.
Thank you. I'm just going to do one last call for any questions before we maybe click back off of Zoom or listen. I can advance the slides.
All right, John, if you'll go on to the next slide, please. There you go. Thank you very much. We touched on just a little bit earlier about our income qualified program. This program is based on, as it says, the income qualifications of some of our customers. This program, we work directly with Energy Outreach Colorado, who reaches out to our lower income customers and helps them with weatherization of their homes, helps them get some much needed upgrades in equipment. Sometimes they also work in multifamily units to help make those become more efficient. And we also have a relatively specialized program that is not seen in all of the energy efficiency programs. We call it NEEP, which is Nonprofit Energy Efficiency Program. And what that does is it lets Energy Outreach Colorado go into the buildings of these nonprofit agencies, and we can weatherize those buildings to help reduce their bills. We can help them get energy efficient equipment that would help, maybe a new furnace or a new heat pump installed in there. And it lets us help the people who are helping the low income customers. Black Hills in the past has actually had some of our employees go out and help with weatherization days in some of the low income neighborhoods in our service territory. We have provided bags that have contained weather stripping, caulk, kits that help reduce water usage, which for customers who have electric water heating, that helps reduce their bill as well. It may be a shower head that puts out more water, so they're not heating as much water to be used. This last year and then again this year, we're doing drive-through weatherization events instead, just to keep our contact, the in-person contact, at more of a minimum. The school-based energy efficiency program is used in both elementary and secondary schools to help teach our children to be more aware of how their energy use can affect their family's resources, the country's resources. It just kind of gives them a way to become more knowledgeable, and it brings it more to the forefront. The teachers are provided with a lesson plan that they can use to help reinforce these lessons, and the kids are given a workbook that they can work through to help them learn. Then each student is sent home with a conservation kit, which is similar to part of what we do in the low income assistant program, that has low flow shower head, energy efficient aerators, and things like that. So that's a good way to start our future customers on a good road to learning how to be energy efficient. You can go ahead. Oh, Nick, you have something?
Well, yeah, Lisa, I just happen to have one of those student kits on my desk, so I thought
there you go.
So, here's an example of the student workbook that they get, and it's multiple pages. There's a take-home workbook, and then here is the kit that Lisa was mentioning, and it's full
your
of
background. Your background is blurred. Yeah.
Let me turn off my blur and so you all can see it. If I can figure out how to turn off my blur, there it is.
Technology is
there we
great.
go. So you can see there's light bulbs, there's shower heads, a thermometer, and in the workbook, there's different different activities that it walks you through, so the kids can go home and measure the temperature in the refrigerator or elsewhere, so they can get things set to the right temperature. So it's really a pretty comprehensive kit home.
Thank you, Nick. I'm glad you had that there. That was great. Does anyone have any questions about our low income program or about our school?
Yes, we have a comment.
Okay.
So I just wanted to, we looked at the new schools being built in Pueblo, the East High and Centennial schools.
Mhm.
There's some elementary schools being built. And, they have the open ceilings where they show all the equipment and all that. That might be a great thing for Black Hills to take advantage of in their training, is to hit some of these new schools when they open. And, everything's kind of exposed, so you can kind of tell the kids and teach them about energy efficiency even better, right?
Sure. Yes.
And I will point out that actually the school district did take advantage of our new construction program. So early on, they engaged with Black Hills Energy to understand their mechanics, the mechanical systems in those buildings, and determine what equipment they wanted to include based on kind of a good, better, and best scenario and payback period for the investments that they would make. So I was really glad that we were able to connect them early with that program.
Yes.
Maybe before we go on, I went forward to this cost effective. Maybe I'll cover this, and then Patty, I would like to maybe have you highlight a couple of things from the program. I don't know if any of you saw Patty had an op-ed Sunday in the paper about energy efficiency, but maybe I'll ask her to just speak a little bit to that. Patty doesn't have audio. Okay. Well, okay. So anyway, I'll cover this slide if you don't mind, Lisa.
Please do.
There's a couple of pieces of testimony here. Essentially, this is from our current demand side management case that's in front of the PUC right now, the filing that's going on right now, and this is just some of the testimony that was included in that filing, and it just recognized that Black Hills Energy's portfolio have been cost effective by a wide margin. This is not our testimony. This is Southwest Energy Efficiency Project. Their testimony is that it's been very cost effective by a wide margin in all years, that Black Hills Energy's customers have greatly benefited from these DSM programs, and the net economic benefit is about $104.8 million. So to put that into context, it's about a little bit more than a 2-to-1 return on investment from those energy efficiency programs. And then, there is some, I think this is a nice piece. It recognizes that in 19 and 20, we didn't hit our energy efficiency goals that were set by the program. A lot of that had to do with COVID. However, even with that in place, they were still cost effective with and this is what I'm speaking to on the 2-to-1, the modified total resource cost test values were like 2.18, 2.32. All that means it's a 2-to-1 return on those investments. So I wanted to share that story because I think that's important. I think it's important that you understand that those efficiency programs are impactful. They are working. They are actually saving customers money, and their benefits more than their cost.
And one other thing, John, that I'd like to, and I don't know if you were able to share this when I was having trouble getting on. Our goal for the year 2021 is to reduce the usage by our customers in our service territory. It would be equivalent to about 2,400 homes. So that's a lot. When you think about how much energy your own home uses, multiply that by 2,400, and that's the scale of the programs that we are presenting to our customers.
2 questions coming.
Yes.
So there are two questions. The first is all of the information that we're sharing specific to Colorado? And the answer to that is yes.
Yes.
And the second question, Nick, maybe you're the best one to ask. Can you identify who the Southwest Energy Efficiency Project is? The question was whether or not that was something that we funded or if it was a study that we requested.
No, so that is an organization of energy efficiency individuals. They are what you call an intervener in our cases. So they intervene in the cases we have and provide testimony that they feel is important for the commission to know. So it is not it's not funded by us. It's a separate group. They are independent from the utility. We don't have any any association with them from that standpoint, and it's not a study either. It's an actual group that does stay pretty involved within the state regarding energy efficiency.
And there are organizations in other parts of the country. In Arkansas, we deal with SEIA, which is just another version that's just located in our area. There's a MIA, which is Midwest. They have branches that kind of try to make sure that energy efficiency is on the right track all over the country.
Other questions from the group? Okay, I don't see any other questions at the moment. Lisa, I wonder, I'm just thinking about like the programs that we've talked about, both from residential and commercial, and we talked about audits. One of the questions that I frequently get asked is, what is the cost of those programs? How do I get involved in those programs? What can I expect when I enroll in something like a virtual audit? Can you speak to that?
Sure, we can talk about that. The audit program is accessible. There's information on our corporate website, our corporate energy efficiency website. I think you said, John, that information is at the end of this presentation. It is the website address is energyready.com. It's energy and then a hyphen ready. It provides a wealth of information, helps you understand what's offered in those programs. I believe there is also a scheduling tool that would help you schedule an energy efficiency audit. The options right now would be for a trade ally to come into your home or to do the virtual audit. Then you just use a smartphone with a camera and they will help you look around your home and see areas that might benefit from weather stripping, caulking, things like that. After you've had that audit done virtually, then they will send you a kit that would be more specific to your needs, whether it includes some weather stripping, it might include caulking, it might include aerators like we talked about before, low flow shower heads, things like that. The cost of the audit, it's different than my programs. If you can hang on for just 1 second, I believe that there is a copay for customers to have that done. I'm sorry, I don't have it. Patty deals more on a day-to-day basis with this, but let me look this up real quickly here. We also do have a program where you can go online, and the link is provided on Energy Ready, and it will walk you through some questions that would help you decide maybe some future measures that you could go ahead and do in your home to help make it more energy efficient. When you choose to do a level 2 energy efficient audit, then the customers pay a copay of $100. That helps us defer the cost excuse me, of that energy efficient group that comes in to do it. If they choose to go ahead and do a blower door test, which helps helps you tell where your inefficiencies in your home are. Then it is $100 to do that. If you want to go ahead and do a blower door test after everything has been done to determine exactly how much you tightened up your house, then that's called a level 3, and that requires a $200 copay. The rest of the cost, which can be significant in terms of paying our trade allies to do things, is covered through that energy efficiency cost line item on your bill. Does that help answer the question?
And I will say that, like with the virtual audit, that my understanding is, as I recall, you can walk through that virtual audit, and there are really 2 rebates that get sent to you. One, you get a $50 rebate simply for doing the audit, and the second part of that is once the installation kit is sent to you, if you then walk back through and prove that you installed those items, then you get a second $50 rebate as part of that program. I'm like 99.9%. That's the way it works, because I did walk through it as an early employee. As many of you know, I've been here for 3 years, so it's one of the first things I did was schedule that level 1 audit for my home so I could have the customer experience, and it was a good experience. I mean, I can't tell you, frankly, I can't tell you that I saw dramatic change on my bill, but you wouldn't expect it when you change a couple of light bulbs and a low flow shower head. I mean, those are small incremental changes, but they're changes that add up, right? The goal is a large goal through a large number of customers.
Exactly. Yes.
Go ahead, David. So the question is whether there's an opportunity to introduce a program so a kilowatt device would be available. So if people were interested in really understanding their own energy usage, like almost by the plug, right? That they could do that. And I'll first share that you can check those out today at the library. We've partnered with the library here in Pueblo to check those out, so you can literally go through your home and do that audit yourself today. But is there anything, Lisa, that you'd like to add to that?
We would like to encourage our customers to do that. Sometimes it's very surprising the results that you will see. Even go so far as to put it between your cell phone charger and the plug. You can see, we talk a lot about the ghost loads that are in our homes nowadays. It would be, I'm sure, quite interesting to see how much energy, whether it be your television that stays more on standby so it comes on quickly, or a cell phone charger, or even your refrigerator. If you have an older refrigerator, you might put it on there, and then when you go shopping to look for a new one, you can use those yellow energy information sheets that are on all of the new appliances that would help you know what your refrigerator is using versus what it might be to install a new piece of equipment that's much more energy efficient. And it might help influence your decision making.
Thanks, Lisa. I recognize we're 10:54. We're going to lose Nick in about 5 minutes.
Nick, are there any parting thoughts or comments that you'd like to make, either about what we're doing today or what's coming?
No, I again just really appreciate your guys' time. And if there are any questions or anything that we don't get to today, please, or that come up in the future, please do not hesitate to reach out. We're happy to help any way we can. I think these programs are really good, and we'll be, continually working on them, making sure that they're the most effective programs we can. But it's good for our customers, and would encourage you guys, as you're looking at what your needs are for the city, to reach out and see if there's anything we can do from that standpoint as well. So just appreciate your time, and I am going to drop off now, just to get ready for my previous meeting. Sometimes when you do back to back to back, you need a little bit of a break to go visit the restroom. So appreciate your time again very much today. And yeah, so like I said.
Nick, I'm sorry, there's one question specifically for you if you have just 1 minute.
Oh yeah, yep, certainly.
And actually, Nick, this is Steve Naraki. I'm chair of the mayor's advisory committee on energy.
Hi, Steve.
We were just recently notified by our state representative, Danae Escar, and I don't know if any of the three of you are prepared to respond, but she alerted us that the Black Hills was going in front of the PUC with a rate increase. So I just wanted to know if any of you had any response to that.
Yeah, what that was in reference to is the February Storm Uri event. We had to file, we typically, for gas costs, they are a direct pass-through. The company, no company in the state of Colorado, no utility company makes any money off of gas sales or anything of that nature. So on the electric side, obviously we have generation units that are operated on natural gas, and so we have natural gas costs. Same thing there. We don't mark up any of those costs. We don't mark up anything to make money off the cost of gas. The issue was during Storm Uri, as many of you probably have heard, gas prices went extremely high. We were not unlike anybody else. We had to pay those same costs. And so that is what that is referring to. We have asked the PUC for the recovery of our actual gas costs. Normally, those are just passed through directly if you look on your bill, there is a line item on there that's called the energy clause. It's EAC. I'm trying to remember exactly what it stands for. Energy Adjustment Clause. And that is the actual cost that we pay to provide electricity that gets passed straight through. So that's what that is. It's not a traditional rate increase per se, but it will be an increase of, depending on what comes out. I think if I remember correctly, it's around $3 a month for our average customer. For a period of 2 years is what we've requested from the PUC.
Thank you, Nick.
Yeah, thank you again. If you guys have any other questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Everybody have a good day.
Okay, Lisa.
Yes.
Let's see what else we have in slides here. We're gonna take just a minute while we switch back. There you go.
Okay, John, you already talked a little bit about SWEEP and then the Public Service Commission. So basically where we are now is we are in the process of developing a new 3-year plan for energy efficiency that we will be able to offer to our customers. All of our plan cycles run in 3-year timelines. The one that we are currently working under goes through the end of the year 2021. So we have submitted to the Public Service Commission a plan that will run for 2022 through 2024. And as John has up here on the screen, there is an information session that will be held on September 28th. Everyone is welcome to listen in on that call. It will just be to basically present what we have filed for our next offerings of energy efficiency plan. We also have a stakeholder input process that was put into place at the beginning of the plan that we're under now. We began it in 2019. And it is an opportunity for customers, anyone that is considered a stakeholder, which would be where Nick talked about SWEEP on the last slide. They are a stakeholder. Anyone who has an interest in the energy efficiency programs that we offer. So our customers are stakeholders, our city governments are stakeholders. We are able to, in other forums other than the one that is shown here on the screen,
we have, that's actually where where the cannabis program came from, was during the stakeholder process. It was brought to us by a group that felt that that would be a good program to add to our energy efficiency offerings. Those stakeholder meetings are held periodically. We do not have one scheduled at the current time, but there will be one scheduled probably sometime after the first of the year, after we actually have our new 3-year plan in place. At this point, we are too far through the process to work with a lot of stakeholder input into that future program, but we have methods that we can revise our program offerings at any time during the 3-year cycle. So keep your eyes open, information about us.
Yeah, and I would just share with this group, I would just share that I'm committed to making sure you have plenty of visibility when we have that stakeholder input process. So you are all welcome to come. We'll make sure that that's, clearly you have plenty of time to schedule that.
Yes. And like I said, we do not have a date for that yet. So
the question was, how was that stakeholder process normally done in the past?
In the last 3 years, we have established meeting times in Pueblo, I think is where they have been held. And they are an opportunity for kind of an open forum to discuss what the stakeholders feel might be lacking in our programs. One of the things that our stakeholders have brought to us during this process of developing these new 3-year programs is we will be doing kind of on a trial basis a demand response program for residential customers where they will agree for Black Hills to lower the temperature setting on their thermostat during air conditioning season, so that helps us reduce our peak load somewhat during that time period of when we have the maximum demand. And more information about that program will be coming as we go on and get our new programs implemented. But that is one that we didn't originally have in our plan, and our stakeholders felt that needed to go in. I mentioned the cannabis plan that we have found to be very, very well received in the communities that we serve. And that came in after the development of our last 3-year plan and was put in through one of these meetings that we hold so that our stakeholders can feel like they have input into what we're doing.
We do have another question for you, Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a great question. So, and it was actually segueing into something, Lisa, that I thought I'd like for you to talk about. The question that is asked specifically is, how do we advertise the stakeholder input opportunities? But I wonder if you could address both that and kind of at a broader level, how do we advertise the programs that we have in place today?
Certainly. The stakeholder meetings, we have a listing of people that we know are interested stakeholders. John has mentioned that he will make sure that you all are kept informed of when a potential meeting might be happening. You can always reach out to Patty or to myself, and we can help you know what's coming up. In terms of marketing our programs, we have a marketing department at Black Hills that helps us get the word out on the programs that we have. The packet that I believe John has for you, it has some of our marketing material examples. I believe there are maybe some case studies in there of measures that we have helped our customers put in and the results that have come for that. We are using Facebook pretty heavily right now to help just as a sponsored ad that is targeted to our service territory. I know at times we have done some Pandora ads. Patty has had articles in your Pueblo Chieftain
There have been, I believe, also some paid ads that have been in there for things that were going on. We do bill inserts for people who still receive the paper copy of their bills. Our energy efficiency website is a part of our corporate website, and it can be accessed, and all of our energy efficiency offerings are on those pages. That's kind of where we are right now. We're always looking for new ways to help get our customers involved and to know what's available. We've been pretty limited for the last year and a half in terms of the opportunities that we've had to be out in the public, where we can respond to customers' questions and things like that. We hope that very soon that's going to become more things we can do more often. We are always available to come and speak to groups. If you have some group of folks that you would like to have more information for, Patty's also just posted in the chat that we are doing a number of customer emails that go out to everyone that we have an email address for, that helps them to understand the offerings that we have and how they can be more involved.
So we've got another question.
Okay.
So Lisa, the question is, and I may be able to answer this better than you. The question is it possible to use text messages for those that have opted into that service to send a link out when new programs are being announced that are available for customers, so they'd have the link directly there and they could go right to the page. Would you like to start with that, or do you want me to answer that question?
Feel free, please.
Okay, great. So Dave, the short answer is yes, it's available. The little bit longer answer is that we are a little bit protective of how much we use that text messaging, because we're aware of if we send too much out, people start to ignore it. And it's really what we're trying to use for vital communications. I will take that back as a note of something that we might want to consider. I just will preface that with, we've been very protective of using that because people very quickly start to ignore it, and we watch that engagement pretty closely.
And the same, I was just going to say the same thing is true with emails.
Yeah, and to answer your question, you can opt into those on your online profile. You just opt into text messaging. You can opt into email notifications. There's also, I think there's both options there. Any other questions? Okay.
Yeah, John, I just wanted to add, I appreciate you guys mentioning the stakeholder input process, because I've been a part of those meetings in the past. And I think that's extremely valuable for our community. And I would encourage future meetings to continue to be held in Pueblo to make them more accessible, maybe a hybrid option if possible, to make them as accessible to everyone as we can. And if it's possible to send our commission a copy of the latest DSM plan as it's been presented to the PUC right now, would be great.
We can get that to you. We are, as of right now, the plan is a little bit in flux. As I mentioned, we've had some stakeholder input that has they have filed testimony and requesting that we add a couple of programs. So we're happy to provide with what we have provided so far. Hopefully within the next the next month or so, we will have a finalized actual 2022 through 2024 program that we would be happy to share as well. But we'll make sure that John gets you what we have proposed just please be aware it's not final.
Yeah, and maybe just to expand on that for the group's knowledge. So what happens is, these are very formal processes, and so we file a program. Interveners choose to intervene in that process. We provide testimony to support, what we're trying to accomplish and how we feel it benefits customers. Interveners will respond to that testimony. We have the opportunity to rebut that testimony, and then there is, this process where you go. It's to some degree you negotiate kind of a settlement, if you will. So you negotiate with the interveners on what that program is going to look like. And so that's what Lisa's referring to when she talks about the fact that it's a little bit in flux right now. There's still input being received back from those stakeholders who have chose to intervene. And so what we can share with you about what we have filed will not necessarily be the final output. There's still some negotiation to be had.
There is, and it also has to have final approval from the Public Service Commission before we can implement those programs.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that. That's the other part. There's a governing body. Are there any other questions from the group now? Okay, for those that are online, I'm sorry, I don't know how I would get these packets to you. I do have some packets for those of you that are in the room that have some materials from all of our energy efficiency programs that are available. Patty doesn't have audio, unfortunately. I just want to maybe close with one example. From an energy, this is a Canyon City example because it's one that I've been close to recently, but the wastewater department in Canyon City has opted to use very variable frequency motors. They're going to install these motors to help manage their load profile, right? That equipment was about I can't remember the number, but we paid being the DSM program, our customers paid for about a third of the cost of those variable frequency motors. So it's a significant amount of savings for the city of Canyon City that makes them good stewards of taxpayer dollars. That's a fantastic win. I know we've done similar programs here with the city of Pueblo. I know that I will send you out that op-ed piece from, I believe it was Sunday's paper. There are 4 examples of audits that have been done in the area. So all great wins. Most of the time it's customer driven in that they come and say, hey, we've got a project, because most of those customers are pretty astute. They understand their energy usage. I will tell you, I was just in Florence last week and I met with, in case any of you are familiar with it, they have a Tech Start program in Florence. A gentleman bought a building. It's actually the old high school. It's about the size of Keating. And it's basically co-location opportunities for businesses, and it's almost full. And he asked me, well, how do I connect? How do we work together as partners? And I'm looking at this 100-year-old building, and I said, I think we need to get connected to energy efficiency. So we're going to make that connection with Patty this week. Yep. But the question is whether we could provide some additional packets for the next meeting. And yes, absolutely, Steve, we can do that for those that are not here today. Oh, yeah. Haven't gotten to the last slide yet. Ooh, and I clicked right past it. There it is. And I will point out to everybody on this call that I have provided Alyssa with a PDF format of this presentation, so you don't have to write all this information down. She's going to share it out to you as part of the minutes of today's meeting. Okay, if there are no other questions, then I will go ahead and adjourn. I really appreciate the opportunity for you guys to hear about what we're doing and what's available. I know that the work of this committee is paramount to our success and the success of the city in trying to achieve their goals. And we're really, really happy to partner with you. And I can't say that enough. We really believe the path forward to attaining this goal is through the current existing utility provider. I don't think we can get there without it being a hand in glove experience, and we're 100% on board to help you get there. Yep. And that concludes the presentation. Yes, thank you, Steve. Come up, Steve.
I just want to thank all of you for coming today, and then also Adam, who zoomed in on us, but you'll be notified. We'll have Alyssa send out information for the next regular meeting, and we'll pick up where we left off with forming those work groups. So thank you, guys.